Man, actually, December is turning out to be one of the best months of 2020 so far with just two cool albums in a row. First week, we didn't really have anything interesting. I'm going to close that real quickly. First week didn't really have much interesting. I felt like we had some cool albums, we had some cool projects, we had some cool things around. But really, at the end of the day, it was like, okay, let's talk about November. November was pretty dry for me. There wasn't a lot I was interested by. But then we moved into December. And first week there wasn't really anything, but then second week we had the Jack Harlow debut, new Boldy James, and Man on the Moon frickin' 3. One of my favorite records of the year so far. Man, that was a big highlight for me. And then this week we hear a new Eminem record. Now, did I expect to hear this? No, because the man has never dropped two full-length projects in the same year. Now, granted, the first one did come out at the beginning of the year, and this one came out at the dead end of the year, but they're still in the same year of 2020. And this is also just weird for Eminem. There are people talking about this idea of there being a Music to Be Murdered by B-side deluxe, and I thought it was possible, but I didn't really think it was going to happen. I guess it happened. There's a reason why everybody was probably spreading theories about it, but point more is that people okay, let's talk about Music to Be Murdered by. First of all, this was the first album I listened to in 2020, and I really liked it. I don't love it. I think it has a couple bad tracks. I didn't like songs like Farewell or Marsh, but I thought it had some of my favorite tracks of the year: Leaving Heaven, Darkness, Godzilla, You Gon' Learn, I Will, No Regrets, Lock It Up. There were so many great tracks in there. Also the feature game, Anderson .Paak, Don Toliver, Juice World. I thought it was a solid project in my opinion. I thought it had a couple points, and I don't think it was at all Music to Be Murdered by. It didn't sound anything like Music to Be Murdered by, but it was good in my opinion. It was like B plus, 7 out of 10 quality. It was a lot of fun in my opinion, and I quite enjoyed it as a record. And I think the only skip on that one, really the only like skip, is Farewell. There are a couple other tracks that are just not great, but that's the only skip for me. But then we have a new project. This is 13 songs long. He's coming off the bat of a big year. Not a lot has dropped this year, though. He's done some features here and there, like Kid Cudi and things like that. But, and also, like I'm saying, every new album interesting every week. This Friday is freaking Whole Lotta Red, which I think is going to suck dick, but everybody's so excited for it, so whatever. But Eminem has now come out. He's dropped his deluxe version, which I'm counting as its own independent record because it's kind of... it's its own independent record in my opinion because it's 13 tracks long. I'm always excited to hear new Eminem, and it's just feels like its own thing, and it's come out months after the first one. But I was hoping for just this to be good, because whenever Eminem comes out with a new project, I mean whenever, I always just want it to be a notch better than the first, or the last one he dropped. Now, I'm not expecting it to be great, I'm not expecting it to be amazing, but I'm always hoping it's just, went the next step. He went the next level. He brought us a new album. He brought us more enjoyment to it. I am always hoping that. And that's what I was just hoping for to hear on this B-side album. I was hoping to just hear... I would have been excited if this just sounded like the original. If it was as good as the original, that was good enough for me. We opened with Alfred Intro, which is okay to me. I still don't see putting all these Alfred skits here and there because they kind of do nothing. And now he's done it twice, so clearly he loves this concept. And every single time it happens, it's just never been too exciting to me or interesting, but it's not a bad skit. Then we go into Black Magic, the opening track, which I was so excited for. Probably on this whole album, this was the track I was most excited for, because to me this is, oh look, there's a cat right there. This is the most, by the way, that cat has lived longer than I've known Eminem, so he remembers the day when I probably first heard Eminem. He probably doesn't remember shit. But essentially, okay, Black Magic is a new track. It's featuring Skylar Grey, and it excited me because I just thought new Skylar Grey feature. Last time he did Skylar Grey feature was Leaving Heaven, and it was fucking incredible. But this was just okay in my opinion. It wasn't great. It wasn't amazing. It was okay. I thought the production was nice. I thought Eminem's verses and flows were really on point, really good. And I liked the end of this album just becoming totally murderous and chaotic. But I really think the downfall of this track is Skylar Grey, surprisingly. Because this is like the opposite of Tragic Endings, where the whole song sucks, but that one Skylar Grey hook, like, boosts it up a bit. This track is cool, except for the Skylar Grey hook. It's just so uninteresting in my opinion. Her black magic, it's just not interesting in my opinion. I don't think she uses her full ability. This is not even half as cool as Leaving Heaven, and honestly, it left a bit of a taste in my mouth for the rest of the album. Then we go into Alfred's theme, which at first I thought was gonna suck, and I was like, oh god, this album is gonna be so bad. Because, you know, here's the thing, Revival still came out only 3 years ago now. So, you know, I'm still always nervous for new Eminem, no matter what. But this was great. In fact, this is one of the best tracks Eminem's done in recent times. This sucked at the beginning, but once those drums kick in on this beat, my god, I love this song so much. I feel like his rhymes, his flow, they continue to going on. There's no hook. He's just going on over and over with a really nice flow, over this really nice instrumental. And I think this is actually one of the funniest Eminem songs in recent times. The Diddy Side Bitch bar genuinely made me laugh. I thought that was great. I thought there were just really funny punchlines, quick bars here and there. And I think, honestly, in terms of Eminem, that might sound like a, oh, okay, well, that's not surprising. But in recent times, a lot of the time he does those quick bars, and they are funny because of how awful they are. These are actually, like, funny bars, and they actually made me laugh genuinely. This is a great song, in my opinion. I feel like Eminem just... This is the best kind of new Eminem, honestly, just this outrageously fun side. Now, there is a really emotional side to him that works, too, but it feels like that's worked, like, 2 out of 10 times. Like, Leaving Heaven is really emotional. Darkness is really emotional. A Rose was really emotional. Stepping Stone is really emotional. And Castle. But out of, like, maybe the 10 other songs he's released recently that are emotional, usually it misses. So overall, though, Alfred's theme is great. This is one of my favorite tracks on the album. It's a banger, honestly. Tone Deaf is actually really good. I don't love it, but I think it's funny to hear Eminem doing that singing hook. Like, the singing he does in the song. And it actually kind of sounds good. I like the instrumental quite a lot. I like the down-tempo instrumental. I thought that the sound was interesting as well. And I think the opening lines are so immature, but they're kind of hilarious. I really like this as a track. Is it amazing? Hell no, but it is quite the enjoyable track, and I enjoy where it fits on the album. Book of Rhymes is so exciting for me to see this track, which, by the way, when I looked at this track list, I could not wait to get through this. Book of Rhymes is a Eminem DJ Premier collab. I don't know if that's really happened in the past, but this was so exciting to me because that's one of my favorite producers and one of my favorite rappers coming together, and it was great in my opinion. Is it one of the best on this album? Not really, but I think the flows are really good. I really like the way he just words everything he says. I really love the hook, and I think DJ Premier brings a sound to this song that's not really been heard in many Eminem songs. It just has a creative sound to it, and I like the way DJ Premier produces himself in the sense that he can almost fit himself in the track. It doesn't just feel like Eminem. It feels like both are together on this. It's enjoyable, it's fun, it's entertaining. I quite like what he did here, and I thought this was honestly a really enjoyable track. Favorite Bitch is probably one of the biggest bangers on this album. Ty, what I'm liking that Eminem's doing is I think he's going into the trap world, and he's finding really good rappers in this world. He's finding Ty Dolla $ign, Juice WRLD. Didn't he feature? Oh yeah, Young M.A. It seems like he's trying to find those good trap singers, giving them their hooks and their verses, and giving them the respect they deserve. Ty gives a great freaking hook here over a really nice banger trap beat on top of Eminem's really fun, psychotic, angry rapping. It's enjoyable, it's nice, and I think it's really entertaining overall for the album's sound. Guns Blazing was probably the track I was most excited for on this album, because it has a Dr. Dre feature. You have no idea how long I've been waiting to see an Eminem song to say featuring Dr. Dre on it. Now, you might be thinking right now, oh, he's worked on the albums. Yeah, he did production for Music to Be Murdered by Kamikaze and a Rose. No, not a Rose. What the hell? Revival. He's done production for basically every Eminem album. This is the first time since Relapse, actually, that the track that Dr. Dre has come onto an Eminem album and spit his own verse. Now, they've done tracks together. They did Medicine Man together. And I'm not sure. There might have been some tracks where they're both featured on it, but I think that's the most recent one. Dre's verse is great. He hasn't actually aged much since Compton, which I think is interesting. Which, according to 2020 in music, 2020 hip-hop in music, there's supposed to be a Dre album next year. I highly doubt that'll happen just because of the significance of Compton being that final album. But if there is a new Dre album, that's my most anticipated record of the whole year. Fuck Kendrick Lamar. That is. Dr. Dre is like, he's released 3 albums, and they're all amazing in my opinion. I don't think Compton is, I'm getting off track, but just real quick, I don't think Compton's as good as 2001 on the Chronic, but versus 2001 on the Chronic, most albums aren't nearly as good as those. Overall, though, hearing Dre on this track is entertaining. His verses were really good. The dark energy of this was really great. I also liked the, I didn't write down his name, and I don't have it here, but the guy who did the hook, totally forgetting his name. I'm so sorry, because he does amazing. He killed this hook. It's dark, it's angry, it has great Dre production. I think he killed this. I think Dre has a lot more production on this album than recent ones, because there are some points here where I can hear that signature Dre sound that I couldn't on Music to Be Murdered By. So I don't know, on the first disc. Then we have Gnat, which I was really surprised was as the single for this. But I kind of get it. It's definitely the most current song. It's a song that feels that the hook is 100% based around COVID. The music video is based around COVID. So I guess it makes sense why he chose it as the single. As a track, though, it's not my favorite, but I really liked this. I think the best part about this song is Eminem's very consistent, rapid-fire flow. He's not angry. He's not going overblown on this track. He's just going at a steady tempo over a really nice beat. The beat switch in the middle is my favorite piece of this track. He uses this beat switch, his flow, as the beat switch goes, continues to get faster and faster and faster and faster as the beat gets more weird. And he goes at the end on a basically Godzilla rants, going insane. And kind of in the same way that, yeah, he did that on Godzilla, at the end of Godzilla. I think this is an enjoyable track. I think it kind of recognizes the ridiculousness sometimes Eminem has to portray. But I really like it, and I thought he did great with his flows, his features, everything about this track was really enjoyable in my opinion, and I love the beat switch. Higher is great. This track could have sucked. This hook could have been so annoying. The beat could have been like watered down and bad. But as a result, we get this, he did this right, we get this angry, great, high energy track that I honestly loved. I thought the hook was great. I thought Eminem singing, saying like, I go higher than I've ever fucking been before. I loved that. I thought the verses, the energy, the rock instrumental, I thought it was all great. It has like a Leaving Heaven instrumental, so I don't know if that's the same producer, but if it is, that'd be cool. He killed this track. I love this track so much. These Demons is good, but it's the track I always forget. Like, I've been like thinking about this album in my head, and I'm like, let's think about all the great tracks. And These Demons is not the one that keeps coming up in my head. It's good. It's not great. I think Eminem is a little lyrically aware of where he is, and I thought Maj had a good hook, but it's just not nearly as interesting as some other tracks on this album. The Key skit is weird. I'm not even talking about it. It's weird. She Loves Me is good. I just, the latter half of this album, I think, kind of brought it down a bit for me, because this first half was just banger, 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 banger. And then you get These Demons, and it's pretty good. It's fine. She Loves Me, which is okay. It's just kind of another freaking toxic relationship Eminem song, which I am so sick of. I am sorry. I am so sick of these, and he will never stop. And every single time he does it better, but it's still not good. Like, I still like this as a track, right? I still enjoy this in the same way I enjoyed In Too Deep. I thought that was an enjoyable track. But the problem with She Loves Me is it's just another one. And there's tracks on this album where he does talk about, like Black Magic is also kind of about abusive, toxic relationships. So I probably should have mentioned that, because I don't think that's entertaining anymore. But like, the Favorite Bitch is like, it's like that, but it feels very psychotic and wrong. It doesn't feel like there's an ounce of emotion in that track. It's just psychotic. This track feels like he's trying, it's getting better. Trust, it's getting better, but I don't think he should keep trying, because it always leaves a hole in the album. Like, In Too Deep is one of the worst on Music to Be Murdered By. I guess Never Love Again is a creative way to do that style track. Kamikaze had Nice Guy and Bad Guy, or Nice Guy and Good Guy, which were both, I liked Nice, or I liked Good Guy. I thought that was an okay track. But Bad Guy, or what the hell? No, it was good. Nice Guy was the terrible one. And I didn't really like Normal either. And then Revival is plagued with them. I don't even want to think about them. Need Me, Tragic Endings, Bad Husband. Oh God, I always forget how fucking awful Revival is. But this is just an okay track. It doesn't really need to be here, to be perfectly honest. It has a nice beat, it has a nice energy, it has a nice hook, but I don't know. Killer is good. It's enjoyable. I like the really nice flow. I like the hook. I like everything about this track. It's just not, you know... Like I mentioned, this latter half of the album feels like this is where he put all of the uninteresting tracks. I like it. It's enjoyable, though, and I think he does well on this. I'm going to move on because I don't have much to say on this. Zeus was really cool in my opinion. There is a Snoop Dogg diss in the second half of the song. I don't know if it's on one of these later tracks. I think it's either on. I think it's on Zeus, but I don't know if it is on Zeus. Fun diss. That's a creative diss there. I don't know if it's really a diss or just him calling him out, but I really like the White Gold talk on this. I was excited to hear White Gold on this because I've not heard much of White Gold, and it's also cool because I think that his You Go and Learn hook was fucking great, and I think he did great with this hook as well. I like the I like the flow, I like the energy. I think the hook is probably my favorite piece of this track. I like it. I think it's an entertaining track, and overall I like it. I think that Tekashi this at the beginning is just so straightforward. It's like she says my music's bad, but she listens to Tekashi like, okay, it's enjoyable though. Thus far is okay. I don't know why it's here. It could be completely removed. I guess it's setting up for the highlight of this album, the final track, the best way this album could have ended with Discombobulated, which is easily the best track on this album. This track is so good. I love it so much. I keep replaying it. I think he did this so well. He freaking killed this song. I think this is like if Relapse was a great album. He even uses that Relapse like flow in the middle and like that accent, but I feel like he did it so well. I feel like Dr. Dre, let's talk about Dr. Dre's production is great. I love that piano, dark sounding hook. It's entertaining, it's nice. Eminem goes totally insane on this track with this Discombobulated, and it's cringy, yeah, but it could be cringy, like Relapse, right? Relapse isn't a good album, but he does it in such a fun, entertaining way. This could have just sucked, but he killed this. It's a sign that this is probably the best Music to Be Murdered By song. Like, it's the best murderous song on this album, or on both albums. I really love this, honestly, as a track. I thought he did great on this, and it's probably going to make pretty high on my favorite songs of 2020. Honestly, phenomenal. Just hands down, Eminem. You gave me one of my favorite outro tracks of 2020. Killed this track. Overall, though, I actually liked this B-side more than the first. Now, if I look at both as albums, I do have to recognize that if I were to pick highlights from this album, I would probably say, I'd go with these, I'd go with Alfred's theme, I'd go higher, Discombobulated, let's just pick 5 great songs in this, higher Discombobulated, Alfred's theme, Gnat, and, I'll just, what else is, I'll just throw Zeus in. Zeus is a great track. I'll throw that one in too. So yeah, those 5 tracks will be my favorites on this album. Now let's compare it to the first one, which I have an easy top 3. 3 of the best songs of 2020. Only really one of the best songs of 2020 made it onto this album, but 3 of the best songs of 2020, Godzilla, why am I forgetting? Godzilla, Darkness, and Leaving Heaven are all going to make it on my list. Actually, I don't think Godzilla made it on my list, but Darkness and Leaving Heaven made it very high on my list. Overall, though, just because it doesn't have as many highlights, it doesn't have nearly the low points of the first, which is why I'd say it's a tad bit better. It doesn't have In Too Deep, it doesn't have Marsh, it doesn't have all those kind of okay tracks on it. There's mostly every track on this is great, and I do think I did downplay Killer and She Loves Me a lot. But the thing about them is they're still good tracks. They're just not as interesting as Discombobulated and Guns. But I forgot Guns Blazing. That's another great track. I think this was enjoyable to me. I think he really got better with the Music to Be Murdered By sound. This album felt more in the senses of horrorcore sounding. Not entirely, but I think just having tracks like Discombobulated and Alfred's theme, they really commit themselves to that horrorcore sound. And I'm fine with Eminem doing a horrorcore sound as long as he does it right. Because I think Relapse is a bad album in my opinion, but I think Relapse has great moments on it. Dre's production, there's great tracks like Deja Vu, Beautiful, Underground, and even on the Refill, you had Music Box and Elevator. He had a lot of solid tracks from that era, but overall, I hope he goes somewhere in 2021. I would love to hear another Eminem album in 2021. I'm really getting into this guy's new sound more because I didn't like it at first. Because just keep this in mind, I'm a massive Eminem fan. He is my favorite rapper by a mile. I love everything this man does, despite how fucking awful it is. Every single time he makes a new song, I'm always just excited to hear what he has to offer because it's fucking Eminem. But overall, this album was really enjoyable in my opinion. I think he did really great. And hopefully the next album he brings is really good because this was just pretty good. I'd probably put this and Music to Be Murdered By the original disc like right neck and neck on my Eminem ranking. Neither of them beat Recovery for me, which would be my 5th favorite. So yeah, overall though, Music to Be Murdered By side B, I give this one a B+. B+. I feel good on that. It's not amazing. It doesn't have much depth to it, but I don't expect them from Eminem anymore. This is a great album, and I think Eminem has proved that 3 albums in a row, all being pretty enjoyable in their own ways, he's got consistency. Now, I know a lot of people don't love Kamikaze. They don't love the first disc. I think actually a lot of people have seemed to really be happy with the second disc, so I'm happy about that. But overall, I think Eminem is slowly regaining the love and trust of the hip-hop community, and I love seeing that because I love this guy. What do you guys think on Music to Be Murdered by Side B? I didn't expect to review this, but I'm happy it came out. Let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe. See you guys, probably not this weekend. There wasn't many other interesting things. There's a Conway Deluxe, but I'm not going to review that. I'll review a Whole Lot of Red. If it comes out next Friday, probably will. Just seems like it will. I will review a Whole Lot of Red next Friday, and maybe something else will drop. I don't know, but that'll be my last new review of 2020, and then I'll get into lists like best albums of the year, worst albums of the year, and best songs of the year. I don't know. I might make a worst songs of the year. It seems uninteresting to me, but see you guys next time, and bye. I just did that. I should do that more. Bye.